Good day to you all. My name is Kelvin, and I'm going to be presenting on my topic towards development of a sustainable town using heritage resources. This research will be focusing on Manda Hills, a hill which is very close to Concession town in north-central Zimbabwe. Concession is the growth point, to be more precise, which is slowly growing into a town or a city. Concession is 45 kilometers from Harare. Manda Hills is a series of hills that are to the left when you're driving from Harare as you enter Concession, and just about 3 to 5 kilometers from the town itself, Concession. So this research was prompted by the call to assess growth that can happen or things that can be changed, mainly focusing on strategic development goals by 2030, which were produced by United Nations in 2013. So I'm going to be focusing mainly on SDG number 11. It is the assumptions that the world is increasingly getting urbanized, and very soon there will be no space, will be limited, and there will be pressure on resources. The pressure will be on the current resources that are there in the current urban infrastructure, like the sewage, water, housing, and so many of those. So there's need to plan or to think about that growth, that projected growth, before it comes or as it slowly comes, because everywhere we can see the effects. Concession itself is fast growing. People are building houses everywhere. But the question is, are all those houses supported by the requisite infrastructure in terms of water, sewer, electricity, and all those other facilities that are required for an urban dweller? So there's need to be deliberate about the planning for that growth, and identification of resources that can support that kind of growth becomes imminent, becomes unavoidable, becomes very important. So these are the assumptions that we are dealing with, that that growth which is coming requires us, or requires the relevant offices to plan for it and do something about it. So Manda Hill becomes one of those that were identified as possible sources of development from a perspective of tourism. This is because Manda Hills has got heritage values that are enshrined in it, which can be seen physically with the eye. First of all, there are archaeological sites in Manda Hills. There are beautiful rock paintings, like you can see in the picture I've shared on the screen. Beautiful rock paintings that depict zebras, elephants, antelopes, human figures in different kinds of postures. You see, there's a lot of superimposition seen in those pictures of the different phases of rock art. There's also late Iron Age sites in the area. The late Iron Age sites have got burials that you can see, stones piled on top of the other under rock shelters, on the bottom of rock shelters, and then grain bins. We recorded grain bins that were almost full size. Unfortunately, there was no grain in the bins, but the grain bins were so much intact that they can be a very good source of information for visitors about the past subsistence methods of the Zimbabwean late Stone Age of the Mazowe area, or to be more specific, Concession area. There's also evidence of past mineral processing, as you can see in the picture there, the residue from smelting that you find in form of slag, which could either be iron slag or gold. There's also a lot of pieces from 2 years and things like that. So it shows that this place was used by ancestors in the past for mineral processing as well, which is not a surprise, as the area is well known for gold. And there's even a gold mine very close to Manda Hills, less than 1 kilometer from Manda. The ethnography of Manda Hill cannot be ignored. Manda Hill is said to belong to the Nyachuru dynasty of the Shumba Simbot totem, who currently reside in the area that's under Chief Chiweshe's jurisdiction. They claim to own the ethnography that exists in the hills, like the graves that look like maybe chiefs were buried there or something like that. The Nyachuru people ascribe all that heritage to their ancestry, and they even do their rituals. They conduct their rituals in the hill currently. They have so much respect for this place, because a lot to do with their living heritage still happens in the place. So this place has so much potential to attract tourists. Various players have applied to run this place for cultural tourism business. And it came to our attention because of the fights that were happening, one person taking the other to the courts and other different platforms. Just the battles or the fights were for control of this resource, because people were bringing various groups of overseas tourists to Manda Hills. School groups come in and go from Manda. It has so much potential to bring academic tourists, because the rock art and the Iron Age sites in there have never been explored. Nothing has been written about this place. So there's so much potential for tourism in Manda Hills. And the tourism can be a catalyst for development. It can attract the different kinds of development indicators, like roads, good hotels, the big supermarkets, and a number of other development indicators that we may talk of. It's a potential revenue generation tool imagine all those groups of international tourists that came to the place. Somehow, of course, the revenue could have gone into the right place or the right hands, but so far individuals have benefited from those tourists. Somebody just brings in tourists, goes around with them for free, and goes without much happening. The city council has not collected anything. There are no proper toilets at the facility and things like that. But organized kind of tourism will bring the actual, the actual kind of development that's required. So Manda Hill can even aid to the current school curriculum on heritage studies. It has a living textbook on those things. The few challenges that Manda Hill faces with regards to this tourism business is, so far, it's not owned by anyone. Half the place is run by the city council. The other corner is owned by a private farmer. The other corner is owned by another private farmer. So what this problem causes is that one private farmer is harvesting sand for resale from that farm, from his part of the farm, and it affects the fabric of the land. The landscape becomes, has holes and gullies, which is not very good for tourism. No one owns the place, per se, the hill in its totality. So there's lack of publicity. Nothing is happening there, even though everyone is seeing that it's a potential gold mine that can be mined sustainably. The other challenge is that there's illegal gold mining happening on the other side, the other private farm on the foot of the hill. As you can see, such kind of holes exist in the place. And with that kind of digging, tourists will never be safe. Then there's also a rampant tree cutting, indiscriminate tree cutting. People are cutting trees so that they can compensate the electricity shortage. Also, the growing town is not growing at the same pace as the houses are getting electrified. The authorities that electrify houses are not moving at the same pace as the new settlement is growing. So people have to subsidize, they have to use firewood for cooking and heating. So those are the few challenges that affect Manda. But so far, they haven't gone to the other extreme. Manda has so much potential, in conclusion, to aid to the already existing revenue generators for concession. With the current structures, correct structures and systems in place, Manda can influence the growth of concession as a city. So many international tourists are already coming without much advertising. With the correct official offices doing their work, the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, National Museums and Monuments, Ministry of Tourism, all those joining their hands, this can be a place that can sell Zimbabwe to the world and bring development to the city of Concession. Thank you.